let's move on from this thing that we were talking about, and let's get back to Donald Trump.
Nearly 2 years after attempting to overturn a presidential election and inciting an attack on the U.S. Capitol, Donald Trump is running for president again.
Donald Trump has spent 2 years attacking American elections, but now he's hoping voters will return him to power.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
Some fellow Republicans have blamed Trump for the party's failure to win big in the midterms. Trump acknowledged Republicans should have done better, but he said that was because Americans don't yet realize how bad things are under Joe Biden.
The citizens of our country have not yet realized the full extent and gravity of the pain our nation is going through, and the total effect of the suffering is just starting to take hold.
I think that was the most powerful statement that Trump could have made, and I think it was the worst. I don't know. I feel like there's basically a recognition that things are not as bad as the way Republicans present it. Like, that's such a bad take. Bad for him, yeah. No, I'm saying, like, dude, why would you ever concede to that? 90% of the things that Trump is mentioning in his speech are things that don't even happen in the real world or don't happen to the degree that he claims they're happening. So why would you ever concede to the other point? The only reason why the economy hasn't completely melted down is because of what I did, lowering the taxes, pumping money into the economy, making sure that, the economy runs smoothly, but Brandon is ruining it. Something like that. All right. Ivanka Trump coming after Donalde. Drama, big drama. Hate to see it, folks. You hate to see your only successful daughter not show up to defend you. It kind of makes sense as to why big homie last night propped up Eric Trump, which was another big L for Trump's speech last night. If you remember, I talked about that as well. Donald Trump has openly showed his disdain for his children. He is not a fan of his children. You already know this, okay? It's not something that he hides. The idea, the notion that my man would prop up Eric Trump in that convo, big L. It's not good. Not good at all. Straight up. Not good at all. He literally was like, oh, Eric is here, my big, beautiful boy. Big L for him. So now we know why. It's because Ivanka was not there. I'm surprised literally no one has covered him killing drug dealers. No Jumper covered it. I don't know why they're not mentioning that more. I haven't really seen the media lock on to that. I mean, I saw some writing about it. No Jumper covered it. Rap TV covered it. That's pretty much it, though. The Fox News is not even covering it for some reason. Someone in the chat literally said, what's wrong with killing drug dealers? What an insane fucking take, man. What do you mean was wrong? You want the state to fucking decide who and who not to kill? Like, that's already a bad idea regardless. But we also fucking know that the punitive carceral state clearly is not a good way to stop shit. The biggest reason why drug crimes are happening is because drugs are not decriminalized. They're not legalized. There are plenty of countries that have gone in the exact opposite path and have seen tremendous results. Portugal is a big example of this, okay? There are countries that have also gone in the opposite direction, like Duterte, okay, in the Philippines, that hasn't seen positive results. Same-day executions for drug dealers is the most insane fucking take, especially when who is considered a drug dealer is, a squishy subject. I don't think he's advocating to kill motherfuckers that are making bathtub met in their cousin fucking neighborhoods, okay? Talking about black people.
Yeah, Ivanka said that she wants to spend time with her family and is going to sit it out, but she loves her family and her dad. Yeah.
No word about Jared, though. But it sounds like, based on what she's saying, they want to be there to support the dad and go to all these events, but they're not going to be involved in the politics, not going to work in the White House if he wins. Eric and Don Jr. will be very much involved. But he runs the business, so he can't be. I don't know if he can have a job at the White House. That's a good point, but I think he can be. I think he'd be involved in the campaign.
Such a weird subject matter. Like, oh, the president's daughter is not going to be involved in the White House. It's like, yeah, she had no fucking qualifications to be involved in the White House to begin with. Like, what the fuck is that? What a normal thing to say from, the greatest democracy on the planet, the arbiter of truth and civil society, talking about the fucking president's family like this is crazy. I mean, that's such a libbed up take. Obviously, nepotism is how this works. You know what I mean? There is so much of it in every facet of our existence. It's just kind of weird to think, though. It's kind of weird to consider.
In the past, Nikki Haley has said, I'm not going to get in if Trump gets in. People say, Kristi Noem, I'm not going to get in if Trump gets in. You wonder if President Trump shows vulnerability if they change their mind. Mike Pompeo said, I haven't made a decision yet, but you wonder if he's going to get in if Trump gets in, if he's vulnerable. So that would be it. If you can't win without the Trump base, but the Trump base is not enough to win.
Damn, they're fucking saying it. Right. That's what I've been saying, baby. He ain't wrong. You can't win without the Trump base, but the Trump base is not enough to win.
One of the reasons we thought early on, and Donald Trump used to come on this show, we thought that he could get elected, was there were so many independents who said that's a really good message.
The issue is, it seems like, and this could change, if Fox News is able to brainwash enough people with speed, potentially you could maybe make those numbers work. You could make the suburban normal whites feel like they also have a stake in this whole like trans panic, gender panic shit without being grossed out by dudes like Matt Walsh constantly talking about like 12-year-olds genitalia. That's one alternative. That's the worst possible outcome, in this situation. The other outcome is that you can't really do that because there is a inherent conflict within the suburbans who want civility, who are relatively conservative or very conservative, but they want fucking civility and they don't want to like constantly think about children's genitalia, and will then end up voting for the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party is also offering them the same level of like economic policies without all the baggage. They're not like weird freakazoids like the Republican Party's base of support is.
All right, so look who's coming on our show today. Mike Pence just wrote this book that Brian got through 100 pages of last night, and we're interviewing him today. And he was interviewed by Bret Baier, and Bret Baier said, would you vote for Donald Trump? And he said, I think there will be better choices.
Oh, man, Bret Baier said better choices. What's up? They're all going to fall in line, baby. They're already half gargling his dick, and they're going to full gargle it the more he fucking speaks. The weakest part of this is the fact that Trump did not fucking launch anything towards Rhonda. Maybe he's like gearing up for a Rhonda VP pick or something, or maybe that's still on the table. I don't know. Surprised that he didn't blast him more.
That's a New York Post. You can barely see it.
This is a New York Post. Do you see that? You can barely.
God, the media is so fucking whack, dude. CNN, oh my God, New York Post turning on Trump. It's not real. It's like they did this in 2015.
And he brought up the Kim Jong-un letter that he is under investigation for taking to Mar-a-Lago. That really stood out to me because he's literally under investigation for that. The other thing, though, is Ivanka
look at what's
Trump.
happening with Ukraine in the background, right? Remember the reason that he was
the first impeachment,
right? And then we had Ukraine happening. As
and he came out and said Russia fired the missile. That's not true.
Right.
Damn. They're getting mad at Trump for like something that liberals literally said that morning. That's crazy. That's how you know this motherfucker can't even like and place blame on Russia. Liberals will fucking get mad at him for that too. That's crazy. Okay. All right, let's take a look at what Ben Shabibo is saying.
President Trump announced last night, as predicted, that he was going to run for president of the United States. Now, he had predicted it would be the most important speech in American history. The timing of it is really curious. It's strategically strange. Let's put it that way. Because if you are Donald Trump, what you really want to do is clear the field, right? But if you do it too early, and there are more than 700 days until the next election, this gives people a lot of time to get very tired.
Why? He's goated. He will fucking annihilate the field. That's when he's best.
That people become exhausted. This has always been the big problem for Trump.
I don't know if Ben recognizes, but he was president for 4 years.
And that is one of the rationales for why he didn't do as well in the election as he should have, and that's why he did not win when running against a person who's actually comatose. Because Joe Biden was more tired than Trump, but he was less tiring than Trump for a lot of Americans. In 2020, Donald Trump exhausted a lot of people because he was on the TV every day talking about COVID, because he seemed to be sort of all over the place in his approach to that, because every day was just revolving around him. And so the election was a referendum on him. And meanwhile, Joe Biden went back to his coffin in the evenings and during most of the day, and he just slept there. And every so often they would take him out and they would spoon feed him some oatmeal just to give him the nutrients. And then they would trot him out like directly outside of his house in Delaware. They would train a camera on him and he would go,
I'm not gonna lie, this is low-key kind of true. Like, he ain't wrong. Might be the first time his motherfuckers like had a sequence of words that he put together that's like kind of correct.
And so the question, if you are Donald Trump, is if I jump in yesterday, November 15th, 2022. And Ron DeSantis doesn't jump in until after the end of the first legislative session, meaning in like June of 2023. That gives you, by my count, and I'm no expert, but I know how a calendar works, that gives you 8 months to simply be out there saying things. And that's very tiring. It means you're the only person at issue. I mean, if Ron DeSantis just goes about governing and doesn't pay any attention to the stuff that you're saying, and you're spending every day on Truth Social ripping into it.
I don't know, man. Trump is popular when he's on camera. He's unpopular when he's not. That's all I've seen so far. Trump not on Twitter, not on camera all the time, losing popularity. Trump on camera all the time, constantly captivating people, pretty good for him.
The fact that other people are very likely to jump in halfway through next year, that he's going to preemptively try to launch strikes against them. And they're meanwhile just going to be going about their business and governing and doing their stuff. Trump runs the real danger of looking petty.
What? Trump has always been petty. The entire point is his pettiness is seen as authenticity. He also has a very good method of like turning his petty grievances and making them seem like they're systemic problems directed at the white conservative base of support. The issue is the January 6th rioters are freaks. They were too much heart of the MAGA type people. So a lot of the conservatives that otherwise were like, you're right, liberal elitists are fucking shitty. They do look down at us or whatever. And I hate that. Could not identify themselves, the moderates, I mean, the moderate suburbans, could not identify themselves with like the freaks that were disgusting and dirty and sweaty and greasy at January 6th, storming the fucking halls, looking for Nancy Pelosi. That's the problem. Pettiness has always been a very good weapon for him. The issue is he tried to do that with January 6th, and it didn't really work. A lot of the moderates were like, yeah, no, those guys are gross. Like, I don't want to be associated with that.
Doing it at Mar-a-Lago looks like he's sort of holed up in his house, right? I mean, that's where he lives. It's sort of like me going to my living room to announce that I'm running for president of the United States. Mar-a-Lago, everybody knows that's Trump's area. If you were going to launch a popular movement, what you'd really want to do is do like a giant rally, right? You announce this in advance, like I'm going to announce, and we're not going to have 1,000 people in the room. We're going to have 20,000 people in the room, right? We're going to show the power of the Trump train. This train is going. It has no brakes, as they say. And we have 20, 30,000, like we'll fill a stadium with people who love Donald Trump. And it'll scare the living bejesus out of everybody because we'll be out there with a giant crowd. Instead, he launched it at Mar-a-Lago, essentially in his backyard, in a ballroom with like 1,000 people, all of whom are sort of handpicked friends, including people like Roger Stone, which, again, if you're going to have your campaign supporters, you probably should not try to stack people who are actually have been indicted for crimes, like as a general matter. You actually want kind of the best and the brightest.
Dog, fuck you mean? Okay, Trump, like, if Trump doesn't have criminals in his circle, he has nothing. The fuck are you talking about? Who's he going to have in the room then? Nobody?
And he has the gravitas of having been president behind him, which means he should be doing the Obama thing, right? When Obama ran for re-election in 2012, he was doing it in like giant stadiums, Greek pantheon kind of stuff, fog machines, right? That's what Trump really should have done.
Bro, he's acting like Trump hasn't already been doing fat fucking rallies. His optics shit is so stupid. Ben's criticizing Trump like a fucking liberal, dude. Like, there's no analysis here. He's just like, oh man, Roger Stone was in the room. It's like, bro, Roger Stone was in every room. The fuck are you talking about? Like that, you avoided that shit all the fucking time in the past. You never wanted to talk about it when he was winning. But now that you hate him, you're like, oh man, Roger Stone is fucked up. It's like, shut up. He's like complaining that there is no fucking fog machines. Like, shut up, dude. I wish Tucker Carlson would say some of these truths as well since they have a bigger audience, but I know they won't. First of all, Tucker Carlson would never say that. Secondly, understand that Ben Shapiro is not speaking truths here. He's actually just making good anti-Trump propaganda because there is some truths in what he's saying, but he's making anti-Trump propaganda that's like leading you to believe that he's right. The idea that Trump can't fucking lock up arenas is silly. Out of any political candidate out there right now, Trump still is number one in locking up arenas. Will they cuck Trump like they did Sanders? No, dude. Donald Trump maintains a larger percentage of like actual Republican votes than Bernie ever did. Bernie in 2016 was an anti-Hillary vote. Let's be real. Make no mistake. It was a perfect opportunity for democratic socialism to be mainstreamed a little bit, an idea that people would welcome a little bit, and that was great for the momentum of the left. But in a country as reactionary as the United States of America, like most of Bernie Sanders' popularity also came from the fact that he was anti-Hillary. The worst thing that the Democratic Party could have done is put someone like Hillary Clinton up against Donald Trump and also against Bernie Sanders. But it did work in our favor. When Bernie was put up against someone who the media largely were able to sell as like the only guy to beat Donald Trump, look at what happened. Biden didn't even step foot in half of the Super Tuesday states that he won. He didn't even have offices. He got billions of free native ads from the media after his predicted South Carolina victory. Bernie also had a huge spoiler. The neoliberals worked alongside Biden, whereas Warren also worked alongside Biden. These are important reasons.